Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, wherever you're joining us today in today's live lecture coming to you from Nkolo Mahadum Wisdom University. Today's date is Nkwo Market Day in the Igbo lunar calendar. And in the Roman Catholic calendar, today's date is 11/4/2025. And remember, at Nkolo Mahadum, we always advise you to use your naturally given common sense, which we call akonuche in Igbo language. And because of the misinformation, miseducation, and misdirection from our colonial masters and their stooges and institutions all over the world, we are set up to provide you with the accurate information, correct education, correct direction, so that you will know how to make decisions. And most importantly, we package our lectures from the Igbo man, the Biafran, and Biafran perspectives, how you should be saying things. We want you to be saying things from how it concerns you, not how it concerns other cultures. That is very important. And that is why we always advise you to join us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok. Because now we are live on YouTube, we are live on TikTok, we are live on Facebook. And so you don't have any reason not to join this lecture and get knowledge. Where you get knowledge presented to you from your own standpoint, from your own viewpoint, you'll be able to make a better decision. See the world the way it is practically, because every culture protests their own. And we want you to be protected. And like, comment, and share. Share these lectures to all your friends and well-wishers, because knowledge is wealth. The title of today's lecture is USA Donald Trump coming to Nigeria to fight Fulani terrorists, that it will save Nigerian lives. The title of today's lecture is that USA Donald Trump fighting Fulani terrorists will save Nigerian lives. You can tell that a lot of lives have been lost in Nigeria from the time of amalgamation up to today. And therefore, and the leaders haven't done anything to change it, to change the genocide, the driving of indigenous people from their homes, the renaming of lands and areas occupied, and the genocide going on every day. The leaders haven't done anything that will stop it, and only foreign intervention will. And therefore, we at Nkolo Mahadum, we welcome the intervention of Donald Trump and his government in Nigeria to save lives. Very, very, very important for the following reasons. The first reason is that the amalgamation of the Southern Protectorate, which is Southern Nigeria and Northern Nigeria, by Lord Lugard, the British government in 1914, was wrong. It shouldn't have happened, because that amalgamation gave the Southern rich, the wealthy South, into the hands of poor North. It's not that the North is poor. It's just that the policy that the Muslims are implementing in the North makes it look as if they are poor. They're not poor. They have a lot of resources in the North. And so that amalgamation is completely wrong, because in that arrangement, it gave the South into the hands of the Fulani Caliphate in the North. Because during the negotiation, Ahmadu Bello and co. negotiated that everything will be in, all the power will be rested with them, with the Fulanis, who are only 13 million out of the 200 million Nigerian population has been estimated. The Fulanis consist only of 13 million. So the amalgamation gave the wealthy Southern Nigeria which includes the Igbo people and the Oduduwa people and other tribes in that southern Nigeria, into the hands of the Fulani Caliphate in the north. So that amalgamation, we are saying it is the genesis of the current killings in Nigeria. Because na nduba is nanda onye amara ebe mmiri no wee mabia agara ama ebe no wee kwụsị ya. If you don't know where the rain starts to beat you, you will not know where that rain stops to beat you. That is why we are going back to the genesis. And you can see that after that amalgamation in 1914, that problem erupted even before and after independence. There's a lot of corruption, a lot of religious problem. The value system is different. The area is, they cannot work together. And so problems started immediately. And that was why Nigerians decided to have that January 1966 coup, which the British megaphone, the BBC, called Igbo coup. It is not an Igbo coup, it's a Nigerian coup meant to sanitize the corruption and the religious crisis in Nigeria then, to make Nigeria better for everybody. So, and that coup killed some people. It wasn't intended to kill people, but lives were lost. So when the British BBC branded that coup, Igbo coup, that's what they call the Program of May 1966, where Igbo officers and civilians were massacred. So Nigeria had been a killing field since the amalgamation of southern Nigeria and the northern Nigeria. And soon after that, culminated the Nigerian Biafran Civil War of 1967 and 1970, of which millions, some have it that up to 5 million, some say it's 10 million Biafrans, lives were lost. Properties not included. If you add the properties in today's value, trillions of dollars in property were destroyed during the Nigerian genocidal war on Biafrans. You see, all these are the killings that have been going on since Britain put the northern and southern protectorate together as one country. Another issue is that Nigeria is supposed to be a secular state. A secular state is where no religion dominates or predominates. But hey, Nigeria joined Organization of Islamic Conference, OIC, in January 1986. A secular state, a country meant to be a secular state, shouldn't join an Islamic organization. But they did in 1986, positioning Nigeria as an Islamic state, which is not. Because if you come to Nigeria today, if the correct census are done, if the correct counting is done, Muslims are not in higher number than other religions. When I mean religion, I mean both those who are following the foreign Western Christianity and those following our own cultural, traditional worship. The Muslims are not higher in number. So why should they go and register Nigeria as a member of Islamic Organization of Islamic Conference? See, these are the things. These are the religious extravagances, the religious manipulations that has leading to all the killings that is going on in Nigeria, because it radicalized most of the Muslims. It radicalized them, make them pompous, make them feel that they own the country. And worse still, on October 27, 1999, Sharia law was established in Zamfara state and other 11 northern states. Sharia law was introduced. So now you have Sharia law and secular law operating in the same geographical area. These are all the confusion. These are all the nonsense that they are introducing in Nigeria that is leading to all this killing, because it continues to radicalize these Muslims to feel that they own the country, that they own the country. They can do whatever they want and get away. And they've been doing whatever they want and getting away. And hence, all the genocide that are being committed here and there across the board. And don't forget, it was the APC government, in order to defeat President Jonathan in 2015 election, that invited Fulani terrorists from Mali, Senegal, Gambia, and other African countries to come into Nigeria as their home, to drive away an infidel, Goodluck Jonathan, from office, so that Buhari can get in there, because Buhari was their one of them. Buhari was one of them, so that Buhari can get in. Buhari is a Fulani man. He's the one that also supported the importation of these Fulani terrorists so that he can gain power in 2015. And so they recruited all these terrorists to come in, and they started to bomb different places, both in the churches when Jonathan was there. They even kidnapped the Chibok girls. They continue to terrorize Nigerians, that made even Obama, the then president of America, to say that Goodluck Jonathan is weak, that they need a military man. They need Buhari, who has military experience, to come in and tackle these terrorists, not knowing that it is Buhari and APC that brought in the terrorists, that they are working together. And so that's how these terrorists came to Nigeria. So when they came to Nigeria and then helped the APC to get into power, after the election, after Buhari got into power, the government failed to fulfill the agreements with the terrorists. They abandoned them. And so these terrorists started kidnapping. And when they started kidnapping, they started becoming billionaires from kidnapping. They started making a lot of money from kidnapping. And they say, hey, so this type of money is here. And they continue kidnapping. And now they are into organ harvesting. They are into resource control and management. They are exploiting both natural resources. And so they start to invite their brothers from all over the world to come. So that's why Nigeria is in bed today with terrorism. And that's why what is going on is going on. And even one governor, Governor Bala Mohammed of Bauchi State, even said on national television that they invited the Fulanis to come and take Nigeria as their country. He said on national television that they invited their brothers from across Africa to come and live in Nigeria. That they prefer a Fulani man from outside Nigeria than a Fulani man even living in Nigeria. And the former governor of Kaduna State, Nashiru El-Rufai, even confirmed also in national television that they were paying terrorists outside Nigeria to stop killing Nigerians, which means all these people know what is going on. They know where the terrorists came from, and they know how to get them to stop, but they could not stop them. That is why they have been on rampage all over northern Nigeria, committing all kinds of genocide all across northern Nigeria, including central Nigeria, like Plateau, Benue State, even to the eastern parts, Enugu State, Ebonyi State, Kogi, and currently Kwara. All of them have experienced wide range of genocide, driving away the indigenous people from their homes, taking their land away, renaming their land, increasing number of IDP camps, which is refugee camps. IDP is the baptismal name for refugee camps. There are a lot of refugee camps everywhere in northern Nigeria, in Benue, in Plateau, and all over, except in Biafra land yet, and some part of Oduduwa, Yoruba land. So they have been on rampage. People have been complaining. Some well-meaning Christians have been speaking up against all this terrorism going on in the country. And then a few days ago, President Trump classified Nigeria as a country of concern, due to mass murder of Christians. He's saying Christians and excluding those not worshiping this foreign colonial religion in our land, the indigenous population. The key is indigenous population. That's whom these Fulani terrorists, because they don't have no land in Nigeria. Even when Ottoman Danfodia came, he came from Senegambia. He doesn't have no land in Nigeria, in Hausa land. But he has to, fight with the Hausas and conquer their land. And so these terrorists coming in don't have any land. And that is why they are on rampage, killing the indigenous people that own the land, driving them away, occupying the land, renaming the land, exploiting the resources in those areas. And so when President Trump classified Nigeria as a country of concern due to mass murder of Christians, we at Nkolom we are not surprised, because even when Trump came in first, the first time Trump became the president, he was the only president that invited the then president of Nigeria, Muhammadu Buhari, to the White House and asked him publicly, you know how Trump behaves. He asked him in front of the media, everybody, why are you killing Christians in Nigeria? For you to know that this killing didn't start today. This killing has been going on now for more than 10 years, from 2014, 2015 to today. It's about 10, 11 years after they imported these Fulani terrorists into the country that these killings have been going on. Been going on for a long time. So for Trump to classify Nigeria as a country of concern, that's why Trump doesn't need any more lecture. He already knew that this was going on when he was the president in the first time, during his first time as president. He already knew that this was what was going on. And when he had it this time, he was really, really, really mad that Nigerian leaders since that time cannot do anything to stop these terrorists. Buhari himself gave Mietiala 100 million naira. Mietiala, which is the fourth most dangerous terrorist organization in the world, the president of Nigeria, Muhammadu Buhari, gave them 100 million naira then, when naira have value. What does it tell you? And the Nigerian government under Buhari has so many programs, repentant Boko Haram, people that have killed Nigerians, killed the military. They say they are repentant Boko Haram. They forgive them. They pay them salary. They rehabilitate them and put them back into the Nigerian army. into the Nigerian security services. And they were even told that if you behave well, you will be the president of Nigeria. That is what has been going on. That's what all these things happened under Muhammad Buhari. He gave me ATL 100 million. He was rehabilitating terrorists, all these terrorists, paying them salaries until he left. Then Tinubu came in and yet couldn't stop them. Because people are wondering, people are now shouting, why did President Trump decide to place Nigeria on as a country of concern and trying to come and fight the terrorists? Come on. Tinubu came in and never did anything tangible. They didn't do anything tangible. And recently, the Fulani terrorists have been on rampage, even in Kwara State, a Yoruba land. They've been there in Kwara State, killing people, in addition to all the killings going on across the whole Nigeria, including kidnapping, including organ harvesting, including exploitation of the land and resources with impunity. Whatever they are doing with impunity. So now, why should you be surprised that Trump decided to come and fight these Fulani terrorists? Why should you be surprised? It is only an intervention such as the one that Trump is talking about now that will save Nigerian life. Every right-thinking person across the world should support Donald Trump to come to save the Nigerian people. Because Britain, the way they created Nigeria, created a killing field. You see, there's killing going on every day, every time there. And so everybody should support Donald Trump. Everybody should thank him so that he can be able to implement what he has said that he will do. And since Trump made that remark, the government, people have been defending the government, saying that this, saying that. Come on, my brothers. Why are we lying to ourselves? People like government appointed spokespeople like Buwala, the one they call Buwala, and then Ononuga. And other government appointees are defending the government, saying that there's nothing like a genocide. There's nothing. Why are you saying something like that? Something that is very, very clear, that has been going on for years, which means you are not in government, which means you don't care about the people. You're not supposed to be there. Also, other people supporting the government includes Sheikh Gumi. Sheikh Gumi, who is classified as father of the terrorists, as the sheikh of the terrorists. He is the one supporting the terrorists, supporting the government. Senator Ndume, I thought Senator Ndume is a good man. But instead of him to stand on the right side of the truth, he is also defending the government. And surprisingly, one pastor, Wale Adefarasi, is also defending the government. That's why we are saying that this foreign Christian religion is a religion of lies. They don't tell our people the truth. How can a pastor of a Christian church, of which many of their members have been killed, many have been shot, kidnapped and killed publicly, having seen all the rampage of the genocide going on in the country, and the pastor will stand up and say that there's nothing like genocide? The biggest surprise is Governor Soludo. He's also defending the government. Governor Soludo is also defending the government, our own person. If you don't know what to say, why don't you just close your mouth? Close your mouth, because the Igbos we are not beneficiary of the Nigerian establishment. We are not. So if any Igbo man, if any Biafran is in support of the government, defending the government in this clear case of genocide, that Igbo man or Biafran should be looked at twice. Na-enye anya nne na-abụ ma onye ọkwaba onye nke anyị, maka na asị na agadi nwaanyị ada ugboro na-abụ agụọ iwe ọpara ụkpọ ọnụ. Soludo had been talking. Why should Soludo be talking carelessly? A whole professor, a whole governor. He shouldn't be talking like that. So these are the people that have spoken. There's a few of them. A lot have spoken, but we just took this few to present to this lecture. Buwala, Ononoga, and other government appointees, Sheikh Gumi, Senator Ndume, Pastor Wale Adefarasin, and Governor Soludo are all supporting the federal government, denying that there's no genocide. Can you believe that? Now, there are few other men of God that have not spoken. Enoch Adeboye, we haven't heard from him. David Oyedepo, we haven't heard from him. Chris Oyakiloma, we haven't heard from him. Lazarus Moka, we haven't heard from him. Paul Enenche, we haven't heard from him. Apostle Suleiman, we haven't heard from him. These are the men of God that are preaching lies to our people, are still not speaking up even when Donald Trump, who is in faraway America, is concerned and trying to protect Christians. And these men of God cannot even speak up to save lives in Nigeria. Some of them are not speaking because Tinubu is the president. Maybe Tinubu is their brother. They're looking at brother when genocide is going on. Then what is the essence of this Christianity? What is the essence of being a pastor in this foreign colonial Christianity in our land when you cannot speak the truth? It tells you that just what Pastor Wale Adefarasin said is maybe what they will be saying. That's why they don't want to say anything. Why can't you be able to say something in the face of clarity? Why can't you? Especially as a man of God. If that God is really a good God, you should stand with the truth. Nobody's telling you to lie. Say the truth that all this genocide being committed across Nigeria is not genocide. Is that what you're trying to say? By keeping silent? And so now, other people are saying that Donald Trump wants to destroy Nigerian sovereignty. Nigerian sovereignty. If Nigeria have sovereignty during the last 2023 election, why should they go to Chatham House? Why should the presidential aspirants go to Chatham House to debate? Why should they leave the shores of Nigeria to go to Britain, Chatham House, to debate? It shows Nigeria don't have sovereignty. Is it now that you'll be asking for sovereignty when you know you don't have it? When you have open borders that terrorists can walk in and out, do you have sovereignty? The answer is no. When you borrow money from World Bank and IMF, do you have sovereignty? The answer is no. When you have foreigners influence government policies in Nigeria, do you have sovereignty? The answer is no. When you allow Fulani terrorists to come from another country and be killing Nigerians in their own land, do you have sovereignty? The answer is no. So Nigeria never had sovereignty. Nigeria never had sovereignty. Remember, what you had was flag independence. Britain is the one still managing Nigeria today. Britain is the one still ruling Nigeria today. So you don't have sovereignty. For those who are saying that Trump wants to, spoil or damage Nigerian sovereignty. From this lecture, you will now know that Nigeria never had any sovereignty. You understand that? And then some of the benefits of Trump coming, because it's only foreign intervention that can stop all the things going on in Nigeria. Because the people managing Nigeria, all these killings is okay with them. They are comfortable with these killings. That's why it never stopped. Do you still believe that these terrorists moving in bikes, you see them sometimes 5, 10, 20, 30, 50, 60, sometimes 100 in number with bikes, that Nigerian government cannot locate them? Is that what you are telling us? Since they've been rampaging the whole country and moving on bikes, are you telling us the Nigerian government cannot locate them? But they can locate ordinary Nigerian. Ordinary Nigerian, they will locate you and hunt you down. But people moving in groups, in large numbers, they cannot locate them. Don't you see that the government is complicit? That if you leave this terrorism for Nigeria to manage, Nigeria cannot be able to stop them. That is why everybody must encourage and thank President Trump for making this move. After all, is President Trump the only president we have across, powerful president we have across Nigeria? He's not, across the world. No, he's not. What did the Chinese president do? What did the Russian president do? And other powerful nations that we have, Indian government, what did they do? Everybody is quiet. And even the Chinese government is warning President Trump not to come and fight terrorism in Nigeria. The Chinese government is asking Donald Trump not to invade Nigeria. So the Chinese government wants this terrorism to continue because it is benefiting them. Anybody that wants this terrorism to continue, whether it's a foreign country or Nigerians or African country or a Biafran or an Igbo person, that person is benefiting from the status quo, from this terrorism going on. And so President Trump coming should be welcome with open arms, because it will help to defeat these terrorists and drive them back to Senegambia, to Mali, to wherever they have come from. Send them back there, because we don't have any land for foreigners. All lands in our land belong to the family and to individuals. We don't have any land for foreigners to occupy, except if you want to buy them, if you want to sell it to you. We can't even sell land carelessly like that. And so everybody should be happy that President Trump have decided to come in to save Nigerian lives. It will save Nigerian lives and even help to divide the country, because the country, you put in people with different cultures together, and each value system is fighting against each value system. The other day in Abuja, an Igbo boy, a Biafran, Sharia court came and auctioned his shop. Sharia court. And they told us that Sharia is not meant for Christians. But this guy lost his 4 shops in Abuja through Sharia court. So how can you have a system where both Sharia and secular law are being practiced? It doesn't work. The best thing is to have Nigeria split along value system. If the North The core north wants Sharia law. They should have their own Sharia country. Benue State will decide, Benue will decide which one they want. They have their own because Benue State culture is similar to the Igbo Biafran culture. If Oduduwa wants their own culture, they have their own, their own. That's how it should be split. So that there will be peace, so that life can be saved. That what is currently obtained, where terrorism is the order of the day. And before we continue, we have to ask you to please like, comment, share this lecture, and always join us, subscribe. Hit that bell button when you want to subscribe on YouTube. Hit the bell button so that each time we present a new lecture, you'll be the first to get it. And the lectures we are packaging and presenting to you is from the Igbo man, is from the Biafran and African perspectives. Because we want you to be seeing things from how it is concerning you and not other cultures. And so what we are presenting here is that everybody should be happy that Donald Trump coming to fight terrorism in Nigeria, all these Fulani terrorists, will save lives in Nigeria. A lot of lives have been lost because the way Britain set up Nigeria, put up all these different ethnic groups together, different value system together, it's like setting up a killing field. And since 1914, of the amalgamation of the Southern and Northern Protectorate, it's been killing all the way. It's been killing. Because you do not take the wealthy South and give to a poor. It's not that they are poor. It's just that the Arabic, the Muslim system they are practicing there makes it look as if they are poor. They're not poor. After the gold in Zamfara is greater than the gold in South Africa. It's a very rich region. And they have this Californium that's been sold for, is it $2.something million? 1 gram, $2.something million. So they have a lot of natural resources. And that is why this terrorism is succeeding, because they are also mining those natural resources and selling them. And so the North is not that poor. But by bringing different value systems together, that is why the Nigerian state is not producing the required progress that is expected of her. And problem erupted even before independence. Both corruption and religious problems erupted even before independence in Western Nigeria and other places. Because again, what you are seeing ongoing today was what was going on then. The Muslims trying to overpower everybody, trying to dominate the country, trying to implant their own people in government seats. That is the same problem we are having today. And then that was why the Nigerian people in the military organized that 1st January 1966 coup to sanitize Nigeria so that Nigeria would be good, to stop corruption and religious bigotry and imposition and domination of others. That was what that coup is meant for, and to hand power to Chief Obafemi Awolowo. But the BBC megaphone, the British lying machine, called it Igbo coup, and that led to what they call Igbo program of May 1966. Killed a lot of Igbo military officers, Igbo security officers, and civilians. Soon after, Nigeria didn't implement the Aburi Conference. The Aburi Conference, which is everybody manage your resources, which is everybody manage what you have and bring something to the center. The Nigerian government failed to implement that. And that led to the 1966, 67 to 70 war, the war between Nigeria and Biafra. And some people say 5 million, 7 million, 10 million Biafrans were killed in that war. Talk less of, in today's money, trillions of dollars in properties lost. Myself, in my compound, my father lost his first one-story building in that war. My father built the first one-story building in my village. He lost it in that war, plus other losses that our people got, that people encountered after that war. And so Nigeria had been a killing field, and then Nigeria, as was organized as a secular state, they joined Organization of Islamic Conference, IOC, in January 1986, positioning Nigeria as an Islamic state. Why we are telling you all this is that if you don't know where the rain starts to beat you, you will not know where it stops. It is all these things that culminated to what we are seeing today. And then on October 27, 1999, they introduced Sharia law in Zamfara state and other 11 northern states. Sharia law, which means in Nigeria now you have two laws, the secular law and the Muslim law, Sharia law. How can you have two such laws operating in one country? It cannot work. And then, before the 2015 election, because the APC want to come to power by force, That is why they invited all these terrorists now killing people today, so that they can come in and cause violence, cause genocide, to drive Goodluck Jonathan out of office, so that APC, Muhammad Buhari, can occupy the office. And that's what they got. They came in bombing everywhere, and Goodluck Jonathan said that his political ambition, the loss of one life, of one Nigerian life, is not what he wants as a politician. That is why he just moved away for Buhari and his terrorist gang to occupy Aso Rock. That is what is going on, And not only that, Bala Mohammed, the governor of Bauchi State, clearly said in national television that they invited Fulanis from all over the world to come and live in Nigeria and make Nigeria their home. And also, El Nasir Rufai have said repeatedly that he was paying Fulanis, terrorists, from outside Nigeria. He traveled outside Nigeria to pay them not to come back to Nigeria. So they know what they are doing. They have big sponsors. And that is why all this genocide is being committed across the whole Sharia North, the whole Sharia Northern states, genocide being committed, IDP camps, refugee camps everywhere. And now, deep in Plateau State, the same thing, Benue State, Enugu State, Ebonyi State, Kogi State, Kwara State, everywhere. Killing the indigenous people, driving them away from their lands, renaming their lands, and exploiting the natural resources in those lands. And the government is not doing much. The government is not doing much. That's why it's getting worse and worse and worse. And so, a few days ago, President Trump classified Nigeria as a country of concern due to mass murder of Christians. And many people are surprised. You don't remember that when Buhari was there, in the first term of Trump, he invited Buhari to the White House and was asking Buhari, why are you killing Christians? And so when Trump heard that this killing is still going on now, after how many years, that was why Trump was very, very annoyed and decided to make this move to save Nigeria. It is only this foreign intervention that will save Nigeria and nothing else. If you leave it the way it is now, Fulanization, Islamization will take place in few years to come. It's going on right now. And those defending the government includes Buwala, Ononoga, and other government appointees. They are defending the government, saying that there's no genocide. If you are saying that there's no genocide in a clear case of genocide, then you are not supposed to be in government. Even if it's Tunumbu saying that there's no genocide in Nigeria today, he's not supposed to be in government because he's lying. He's not lying. He's incapable. And from the time he came in up till now, the worsening of the genocide, of the killings, shows that he's weak and incapable. And he's not supposed to remain in office. Others supporting the government include Sheikh Gumi, Senator Ndume, Pastor Wale Adefarasin, and Governor Soludo. And yet, those who have not spoken, because this foreign religion, Christianity, have been, a lot of our people have been brainwashed into it. And their leaders, those that we are looking up, that we come out to speak, they are still quiet. People like Enoch Adeboya, David Oyedepo, Chris Oyekiloma, Lazarus Muoka, Paul Enenche, Apostle Suleiman, and others. They are still hiding. Why are you hiding? If you are a true man of God, if your foreign colonial Christianity is true, why can't you live? Why can't you believe in the truth and say it loud? Why should you be hiding? And we have had people say that Trump is coming to violate Nigerian sovereignty. And we are saying Nigeria never had sovereignty. Nigeria was created by Britain, amalgamated in 1914. Created by Britain, in charge of Britain as we speak today. If not, why would our presidential aspirants go to Chatham House in London for debates before they can be elected? Why should they do so? Does the United Kingdom prime ministerial aspirants, do they come to Nigeria for debate before they are voted in? Come on, my people, wake up. So Nigeria never had sovereignty. When you have your open borders, terrorists are coming in and out of your border. Do you have sovereignty? When you start continue and borrowing money from IMF, World Bank, do you have sovereignty? You never had sovereignty. When you don't have economic freedom, you don't have sovereignty. So Nigeria never had sovereignty. For those saying that Trump is coming to violate it, Trump is only coming to save lives. Saving of lives, government that cannot protect its citizens is not worthy to be there. The agreement between the government and the governed is for the government to protect lives and property of the people. And once you are failing in that agreement, you are not worthy to remain in power. You need a foreign intervention like Trump to come and save Nigeria. And what we are saying, the benefit is enormous. For the fact that Trump mentioned it alone, everywhere is on fire. Everybody is running up and down. And Trump will come in and defeat these Fulani terrorists that Buhari and Tunumbu could not defeat. Trump will come and defeat them in your own eyes. In your own eyes. These people move with bike all the time in large numbers, and you cannot detect them, but you can detect ordinary Nigerians. Every time, the other day you arrested Mazen Namdekan. Yesterday or 2 days ago, you arrested Showere. You can arrest other Nigerians easily, but you cannot arrest those moving in groups who are killing Nigerians, which means the government is complicit in the killings. And so, another benefit is that Nigeria should be divided into value system. If they not want Sharia law, let them practice Sharia law in the north and have their own country. Middle Belt have their own. Biafra have their own. Uruduwa have their own. So that there will be peace. So that everybody will develop at their own pace. And so we are asking everybody in the world, if you have a good mindset, if you don't support injustice, if you don't support genocide, if you don't support taking of people's ancestral home, if you don't support driving people to refugee camps, support Donald Trump to come to Nigeria as quickly as possible to help Nigeria save lives, save the country from continuous shedding of blood. And with this, we shall be bringing today's lecture to an end. Thank you very much for joining me today. We have another lecture coming in where we shall discuss the Fulanis in Nigeria. Join us. That lecture is coming up by 1 o'clock, 1 p.m. Central Standard Time and 8 p.m. Nigerian time. Thank you very much for joining us. Please like, comment, and share. Thank you, and have a good one. Bye-bye.